Hello guys and welcome. My name is Dr. Peter. I'm a member of the Optimal Generics class of ILOMSA. Welcome to 400 level. I'm so proud of you. If you are here, if you're watching this video, it means you've made it. You've written your first MB successfully and now you're at 400 level. Well done guys and congratulations. Now that you're on this side of the line, this is the bridge class between preclinicals and clinicals. Yes, I know it's clinicals, but this is a bridge class more of, and I can tell you straight off the bat, it is not a walk in through the park. You understand? It's going to require everything you've learned in 200 level and 300 level. And I don't mean necessarily the knowledge, I mean the skill that you've used to survive and adapt in medical school. It's going to require every of those skills to be able to deliver and perform optimally in 400 level. So that is how I'm going to, that's the first thing I want you to have at the back of your mind. There are about 10 postings in 400 level, structured into pathology, pharmacology, and then a little bit of clinical medicine and surgery. So in chronological order, you're going to start with nursing posting, usually a 6 weeks posting. Then there will be, of course, your intro A examination, that's your introduction to pharmacology A. Then there will be introduction to pathology, and then there will be introduction to pharmacology B, and that will round up the intro classes into 400 level. So intro A, intro path, intro B, and then nursing posting. That will be the introduction to 400 level. That will be the first phase of 400 level. The bridge phase of 400 level is where you're going to be doing medicine 1 and surgery 1, where you'll be going mostly to the hospital. There's going to be a separate video on medicine and surgery, and if you're interested, you can take a look at that. I told you I was going to be your guide, your secret guide through medical school, and it's going to span across every posting that you're going to be doing. Now the second phase, or let's say now the third phase of 400 level, is going to be your block postings. There'll be block 1 pathology, block 1 pharmacology, block 2 pathology, and then block 2 pharmacology, and that completes the 400 level class. So if you count individually, there are about 10 postings, and since every posting has an exam, it's going to be 11 exam, rounding up with your final MB. So let me just give you a brief word about nursing posting, and then we can keep that aside, and then we can go into path and farm properly. The best investment you can make for nursing posting is not something that will come out that will make results in terms of marks. All right, but it's something you can invest into your psyche as a doctor. There's a textbook, clinical methods by Hutchinson. Robert Hutchinson was a very beautiful physician of the 18th century. He's regarded widely as one of a very proponent of clinical methods in the hospital. If you read the first 3 chapters of Hutchinson's, you will have a very good psyche when you get to the hospital eventually, and that is what the nursing posting is supposed to introduce you to. So check it out. It's just 3 chapters, and they're not that long. So, and it's quite cool. So you know why the hospital exists, and then what is expected of a doctor in the hospital. Now, in the next phase of these videos, we're going to delve deeply into pharmacology and pathology and how to go about the whole thing. Now, for pharmacology properly, before I get into this, I want to tell you that your support system must be very fully intact in 400 level. When I mean your support system, I mean your faith, your family, your finances, your friends. You understand? You must have a very solid, support system, because it's a long class. It might take up to 14 months or even more. So 14 months, and it's a long class, and then there will be exam back to back. So you're going to need emotional, psychological, spiritual support from your family and your friends. So it's good to have that at the back of your mind. And I don't say that lightly. I'm putting it in front because of how important it is. Your friends, your family are going to come in a lot of time to support you through medical school, and this is where you're going to find out that it's not just a one-man's journey. However, you are the best of the best, so there is no doubt that you're going to actually do well in this class. Now, properly into pharmacology, it is assumed that in 300 level you have learned introduction to pharmacology A, and that is made up of the basic principles of pharmacology, as well as endocrine pharmacology and the early parts of gastrointestinal pharmacology, as well as the middle, as well as a bit of renal pharmacology, where you'll be learning diuretics. So about 16 chapters altogether if you are using your pharmacology textbook, and you can use any of them, but I would recommend Kadzong for you. And particularly if you're going to buy your Kadzong, I'll recommend you buy the board review, or what we call the small Kadzong. It is smaller in size, but however, the quality of the information that is contained within is comparable to that in the big Kadzong. And more so, because of the time constraints in pharmacology postings, the small Kadzong is more feasible to go through when you are during the posting. So I recommend the board review of Kadzong, Pharmacology, Basic Principles of Pharmacology by Bertrand and Kadzong. Now, so for intro A, as I said, the structure of pharmacology exams generally are similar. The structure of the general pharmacology exams are similar. There are 4 phases of the exams for pharmacology. The first part is the normal true and false that we're all familiar with. So true, false, where you're going to pick true, false. The second part of it is where you'll be doing 1 in 5 for pharmacology. Now the third phase is probably this will be the first time in medical school where you'll be experiencing this part of the exam, and it's called the matching part of the exam. What matching means is actually 6 sets of 10 questions, and in these 6 sets of 10 questions there'll be a corresponding 6 sets of 10 answers for each of them. So altogether 60 questions, and it applies from intro A all the way to the MB. So matching is going to be across. It's quite simple. So there will be a set of questions and a set of options, and you're supposed to match what the ones that rhyme together. You understand? So it's very easy. What is the opposite of black? White. Match, and then like that. In answering matching question, I would suggest this. It is better when you see a question, it's good to have an answer in your mind before you go to the answer section, because the closed options will be there. So when you see, when you see the question, have an answer and then go look for that answer and then select it. That's the best way to do matching. If you look at all the questions and look at all the answers, it's going to get mixed up because pharmacology is quite volatile. You're going to be meeting a lot of strange names and a lot of chemical names that might be related. All drugs ending in azole, and then you'll be wondering which of these azoles am I actually going to take about. So that is the structure of matching: 60 questions with corresponding 60 answers for you to match. All right. Then the last part, of the pharmacology exam, in terms of the multiple choice section of the exam, is what we call causal. The causal part of the exam is not as technical as people might make it sound. There will be 2 statements made, and then you're supposed to pick options that describe the relationship between the first and the second set of statements. Let me assure you that the instructions are going to be clear enough for you to find out. It's the relationship between those 2 statements that you're supposed to find, if they are causally related, and there will be options, 5 options for you to choose from. The causal part of the exams will only reflect from your intro B, block 1, block 2, and the MB. There will be no causal questions in intro A exam. So the first exam you'll be taking in pharmacology will not have causal. Let me emphasize to you that most times the drawback for students in pharmacology is not necessarily the negative marking. Since there's a lot of multiple choice questions, that means there's a lot of negative marks that you can accrue from just carelessly answering all the questions. So when you answer those questions, I want you to be aware of what you are doing, and of course you can apply that principle of betting your phone before you choose the answer. It's a very, very sure way. If you can't bet your phone, maybe you should leave that. And when you honestly leave the questions you don't know, at the end of the exam you can see the holes in your booklet, and then you can analyze if you should fill them up by guessing or you should let them go because you have honestly answered what you are sure of. It's a very good fail-safe to use in the exam. Generally, the time allotted in pharmacology exam is adequate. You'll be having 2 hours to go. Relative to all the other exams you've taken in medical school, the time for pharmacology exam is actually okay. For intro B and block 1 pharmacology, you are going to be having an essay part of the exam where you have to write. Fortunately, you can predict that essay questions from past questions, because there's a limited amount of questions they can ask, and there's a limited amount of structures they can bring in pharmacology exam. So fortunately, you can predict the essay part of the exam in pharmacology, and better yet, the essay part of the exam in pharmacology constitutes only 20% of the exam. So that is not where you should worry about. Where you should put your emphasis and your interest is in the multiple choice question, the true or false, the 1 in 5, the matching, and the causal questions. So back again to pharmacology, to put it all together, when I'm going through a pharmacology posting, I get my timetable, which will have the list of all the topics that you need. And with that topic, with that list of topics, you can approach your pharmacology board review, the Kadzong, the small Kadzong, and then you can read from the small Kadzong. The benefit of the small Kadzong is actually a section at the back of the small Kadzong, which is the appendix, the drug appendix, where 3 lines are written about the most important drug or the prototype of every family of drugs. Those 3 lines are the most important lines about that drug. Reading, that is why I really recommend, the board review Kadzong. So reading through the topics, it's easy. And I'm saying this particularly because if the lectures start to get scanty in pharmacology, you can always come back to your timetable and the list of topics there. To wrap it all up, Kaplan's medical series have a very beautiful review of pharmacology, particularly Professor Lionel Raymond. He has a very beautiful collection of pharmacology, a very beautiful pharmacology review. It's appropriate for your intro A, your intro B, your block 1. The only place where Kaplan's might not be very beneficial will be in your intro B, where you'll be doing chemotherapy. So that is the point at which you are going to rely heavily on your class materials, and the reason why is because of how the research in cancer is ongoing, and then new things are happening every day. So your lecturers will be abreast with those information, and it will be better to rely on their material so that you can learn accordingly. So this will be just a general overview of your pharmacology. The next part of our video is going to be discussing pathology and how you're going to go about the intricacies of pathology. Thank you very much for listening, and if you enjoyed it, please share with your classmates. Cheers.